Hello everyone, I'm Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here, but today I'm just going to share a little something with you that I've channeled. The first thing I want to say is that you do not have to agree with me, you do not have to believe me. I'm simply sharing a piece of information that was given to me, and if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. The other thing I want to say is that this is not meant to be an attack on anyone, on any group of people, for what they believe in. This is simply me sharing information that might be helpful to others. So I don't know about you, but I've noticed a lot of people recently who claim that they're quote unquote leaving New Age and being born again Christian and going full Jesus. And the thing about this that is kind of so funny to me is that, first of all, it's not New Age. These are the old ways. I don't know why it got the name New Age, but everything we're doing here is old magic, old ways of doing things, and a lot of it comes from like indigenous roots or like the ancestors or marginalized groups of people that needed to come together in order to liberate themselves. So I don't really understand why it's called New Age, because it's so far from it. But second of all, I find it very offensive that people think that their way of being is the only way to be righteous, true, and of God, of a high frequency, right? I think that the most intelligent people are able to admit that if they know anything, they know nothing. And I think the people that so strongly believe that they or their beliefs are the end-all be-all and everything outside of that is evil, wrong, or just not as good is a little crazy to me, but to each their own. And I want to say as well that I have nothing against Christians or people who believe in this kind of stuff. The only people that I don't like are the people who treat me poorly and tell me I'm going to hell, I better repent, I better get on my knees, you know, I'm a terrible person, this and that, because I'm not living my life the exact way that you are. And what I'm here to tell you today is all you really have to do is be a good person. I am 100% confident that, God forbid, if something were to happen to me tomorrow, I know I wouldn't be going to any kind of fiery pits of hell. I know I'm a very good person. I've been through so much. I've been abused for so much of my life, and I never let it jade me. And I never abused anybody the way I had been abused. And that's pretty common with people, right? They either break the cycle and they emerge like a phoenix from the ashes, or they fall back into the cycle and have to, you know, find their way out of it. So I know I'm a great person. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm human. I know I have a temper. I know I can have a mouth on me. I know I swear. I read the tarot. I'm tattooed up and down. But I'm a great person. I'm always going to do the right thing to the best of my ability. Like if I see someone who's in need or hurt, especially children, I always try to stand up for the underdog. I always try to give where I can. I try to be generous, and I just do my best to be kind and unjudgmental, to be friendly and giving. And I feel that this is the true form of Christianity. I don't think you have to go to a church and talk to another human to get to God. I think we're all God. I think we're all a piece of God, a fractal of God, and if you want to speak to Source or God or the universe or however you perceive this frequency from which all of us come, the oneness, the Most High, the Central Sun, right? There are many names, but I just feel as long as you're following your heart, and you're doing what's right to the best of your ability, I don't think we have anything to worry about. And the other piece that I wanted to share about all of this is that when I channeled why this is happening, so first of all, Michael the Peace Dealer, who's my friend, had channeled that the astrology right now supports people kind of drastically flipping their belief systems on their head, doing full 180s, and having these sort of come to Jesus moments. It doesn't have to just be with religion, but so far it's kind of has been, but it can be with anything really, like completely shifting your point of view on any subject, right? So he had spoken that the astrology supports this, but also I channeled, and what I wanted to share with you today is that the algorithm is pushing this. I don't know if it's been like this for you, but I realized that, especially on YouTube, but in my other forms of social media as well, the algorithm is heavily pushing Jesus content on me. It's pushing the content of the people saying, my way is the only way. Get on your knees and repent or you're going to hell. Gnosticism is a plague. Spirituality and New Age will land you in the fiery pits. Like, the list goes on and on. I'm getting heavily pushed this in the algorithm. And when I tapped into that and I was like, okay, Spirit, but why? They basically said, if you're from America, you know, it's no secret that it's an election year, and it's no secret that shit always goes haywire and hits the fan, right? It's a little convenient, isn't it? But it's happened consistently for my entire lifetime. But with this election year, it's only February 1st today of 2024, and we already had aliens in the mall, and, you know, we're in an active war. There's all this stuff going on, all this really extreme, difficult, crazy stuff going on, and they basically said that, and I want to remind you as well, too, that timelines are always subject to change. And I did want to point out as well that at the beginning of 2020, the mass delusion that was the panini, you know what I'm saying when I'm saying panini, the mass delusion and psychosis that was very well orchestrated, and the powers that were, the negative powers that were the 1%, were very organized. They were very organized, and they were in this together, right? They were collaborating. At this point in 2024, especially since the passing of the Queen, who's one of the main ringleaders in the globalist agenda for the New World Order, has passed, and there is an extreme struggle and fight for power. So there are not really set timelines, because none of these technocrats or billionaires or whatever can agree with each other and work together. They're eating themselves from the inside out, and that's why I say the powers that were, because they've begun their fall, and they've essentially dug their own graves since 2020, when they locked everyone in their house and gave them the ability to find the information that could set them free, right? To liberate themselves and understand this plane of existence better, and also to understand that your government is not here for your highest and greatest good. In fact, if they can't use you as a slave, they'd rather you be dead. I know that's harsh, but it's the truth. But so none of them are on the same page. There is no set solid timeline, because none of them can agree, because they're all greedy, power-hungry, money-hungry control freaks, and each one of them wants the utmost power. So like I said, they're tearing themselves apart from the inside. You know, one wants another panini, one wants an alien invasion, one wants the rapture, one wants war, you know? So it's like, that's why we're seeing so much chaos in so many different directions, because they're trying to, each loser that is of the 1% is trying to steer the collective timeline in the direction of which they want it to go, so that they can have ultimate power. So the thing I want you to remember is that nobody's living your life but you, and because there's no set collective timeline, it's very easy, well, I wouldn't say very easy, but it's much easier to create your own and stick to your own. And I also foresaw, they said that they are pushing this algorithm so much because they are attempting to bring in a timeline where they falsify the rapture. So they're really pushing, and I felt this from my head to my toes. I think there are many timelines that they're trying to create, many doomsday timelines, right? But I felt this from my head to my toes, that they're going to try to, just like, you know, they're trying to get ahead of disclosure when it comes to interdimensional creatures and create Project Bluebeam of false alien attacks and invasions. So, sorry, my face is itching so much. Sometimes my face gets itchy when I channel. But anyway, so it's like one of the timelines that they're trying to bring about is the rapture doomsday timeline. So they're pushing this, you know, extreme focus on this certain religion, right? Which this certain religion already reigns supreme mostly over the globe anyway. So if they can get people, which I don't support religion, and I especially don't support an establishment that's been one of the church that's been one of the worst players in child abuse, child SA, Like, it's crazy to me that the institution has any followers. But anyway, if you know me, you know that I believe religion was just the first form of government, and I don't support it. I just think it's a means of mind control, indoctrination, control, and division. And to make people think they're greater than thou, and to try and get others to join their cult-like mentality. So, yeah, they're trying to push this doomsday timeline so that they can not only do their best to fake it, but that they can get us to believe it, right? Because that timeline of, like, people being beheaded and, like, hell taking over Earth, that's pretty, rough, huh? So if they can get all of us to focus our attention on that and bringing about doomsday, it's going to be easier for them to simulate it, just like they simulated doomsday during the Panini, and over-exaggerated everything, right? And I'm not saying any of this to be offensive. This is simply my opinion. Like I said, you are more than welcome to disagree with me, and that's fine. Just be respectful if you're going to. And be respectful no matter what, if you agree. Just be kind. But anyway, so they're desperately pushing this algorithm on us as a means of trying, I just saw 1111, as a means of attempting to control us and attempting to bring about a timeline that is easier for them to scare people into a state of submission and make them believe something that seems to be true but might not actually be true. So what I want to say is, if you don't feel connected to giving up your entire life to follow the Bible, which is literally just a series of books put together by a man named Constantine who decided what was going to be in and what was going to be out. It's not even the original works. It's something else, right? It's controlled opposition. So if you want to throw away everything that you have and go do that, more power to you. I am not here to stop you. You're having an earthly experience and you are allowed to do whatever you want. I have no say over you. But if you feel like you don't trust this or you don't want to do that and you've been feeling, oh, like, they say I'm going to hell. You know, those kind of Christians, I gotta be honest, they're some of the meanest people I ever met in my life. Who does that? Who does that? Who just walks up to someone and is like, you're going to die and burn? Like, that's crazy. People do that. I had a witch do that to me because I'm proudly not V'd, and she literally looked me in my eyes. A local witch proudly looked me in my eyes and was like, it is just so sad to look you in your eyes and know that in 10 years, no matter what, you're going to be dead. You'll be dead. And now I actually feel bad for you and I'm not mad at you anymore. Like, who talks to people like that? A crazy person. A crazy person talks to people like that. Who talks to people and say, get on your knees and repent or you're going to burn for all of eternity? Who talks to people like that? A crazy person. So I want you to just understand that you cannot argue rational points with irrational people. I want you to understand the theme of life since 2020, that one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all when it comes to medical care. One size does not fit all when it comes to spirituality. One size does not fit all when it comes to fucking clothes. When it comes to your dietary needs. We are all individuals. We come from one source, we come from one God, universe, whatever you want to consider it, but each of us are an individual fraction of source, and you are allowed to be you. You're allowed to be you. You don't have to be Jesus. You don't have to be Buddha. You don't have to be the guy down the street. You were born to be you. So if you don't feel like throwing away your entire identity, everything that you've ever been, and giving it up to some book that was orchestrated and carefully placed together by someone who wanted to control the narrative, if you don't agree with some of the, you know, like really low vibrational thoughts around, you know, not supporting same-sex marriage and things like that, like, nobody's gonna make you. The only person who can get you into that situation is you. Don't let anybody guilt you into it. Don't let anybody scare you into it. I feel like you have the worst product in the world if you literally need to blackmail and scare people into getting it. Cough, cough, the V. Cough, cough, religion. Your product, as a small business owner, your product should speak for itself. Your product should sell itself. You shouldn't need to go knock, knock, door to door. Can I tell you about Jesus Christ today? If what you're offering is truly coming from a place of righteousness, integrity, truth, and freedom, you don't have to force it on people. So if you've been feeling forced, or if you've been feeling bad, or if you've been questioning whether or not you're allowed to be yourself, you are. You are. And it's not whether or not you go to church every Sunday or read the Bible that's going to get you into heaven, if heaven even exists. It's the content of your character and your heart. Remaining true to yourself. And like I said, being you and respecting yourself and others and being kind and doing what you can, where you can, doing the right thing. And I think that's all I have to say about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys. I hope you feel a little better after watching this. And please leave me your comments below. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.